Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday, the 5th of February, and our topic lesson. We're going to be looking at comparing digestive systems today, so looking at human digestive systems and seeing how they differ to animals. So let's have a think. Do we all eat the same thing? I know I like chocolate, and my sons like hot curry, but my dog prefers dog food. Most of the time, anyway, he does like the odd biscuit. Let's have a think about the different types of eaters there are, food eaters there are. So, what's a carnivore? Let's see if Spartacus can help us. Okay, so a carnivore is an animal that only eats meat. He doesn't eat vegetables or vegetation or grass, just purely meat, and that's all that they need to survive. Okay, so what's a herbivore? Herbivore is another word that we've heard of, but we don't necessarily know what it means. A herbivore is an animal that only eats vegetation. So it doesn't eat meat at all. It just eats grass and plants and vegetables, anything that is plant life, basically. And what do we call people who don't eat meat? Well, a person who doesn't eat meat is called a vegetarian. Okay, but a person who doesn't eat any animal products, such as eggs or cheese or milk, they're called a vegan. So they don't eat anything that's connected to animals at all. And it's okay to be any one of these things. We are, as humans, we are built to be omnivores, to eat meat and vegetables. But some people choose not to eat meat, which is absolutely fine, and it's good for the environment too. So, what do you think about our digestive systems? If we eat different things, are our digestive systems different? Shall we have a look at the different digestive systems of different animals to see what we can find out? Okay, so I have added these onto your assignment so that you can go in and look at them closer, because I understand that it won't necessarily be easy to see all of this on your screens, especially if you're working on a phone. So they are there also on the assignment for you to be able to look at and to read through at your own time. But if we look at a chicken and we follow through what happens, I'm going to start here at the beak. So a chicken pecks at its food with its beak. It can't chew food because it's got no teeth. So the food mixes with the saliva in the chicken's mouth. But like us, the chicken has an esophagus, and the food travels from the chicken's mouth through a tube called the esophagus. But it doesn't go straight into the stomach. It's different from a human because at the bottom of the esophagus there is a pouch called its crop. And the crop stores the chicken's food and slowly passes it to the stomach, so it doesn't all go in one go. But then the chicken has two parts to its stomach, the proventriculus and the gizzard. The proventriculus adds the digestive enzymes to the food, so it starts to break it down like an acid, and the gizzard grinds the food. So although the chicken swallowed it whole, it gets ground like we do with our teeth, but in the gizzard, in the stomach. And the chickens swallow grit that collects in the gizzard, and this grit helps to grind the food. It does the job of our molars and premolars. When it leaves the stomach, it goes into the small intestine, just like humans. And here, the bile from the liver and the enzymes from the pancreas are added to the food, and it helps the chicken to suck out the nutrients, to absorb the nutrients into its body that it needs. From there, it goes into the large intestine, and that absorbs any remaining nutrients and water, leaving the waste products that can't be used by the chickens. And then, what's left, the waste products, go to the cloaca. And here they mix with waste from the urinary system. So that's the system that deals with wee. That's where the watery residue is. And the feces or the poo is mixed with the wee. And then it goes out of the chicken's body through the cloaca, which you can see on this diagram here. You can see digestive system going through here. So if we have a look at a cow now, oops, just jump one, let's go back. If we look at a cow and see how a cow compares, you can see the diagram here. Their stomach is enormous. So let's have a look. So the cow uses its mouth to eat as well, and it uses its tongue to grasp and gather grass. It chews the grass, mixing it with plenty of saliva before swallowing. And when it's mixed with the saliva, it's called a bolus. Like us, the cow uses its teeth to chew, and like us, the food travels down the esophagus. So the bolus that's made out of the grass, the chewed grass, travels from the cow's mouth to the stomach through the tube called the esophagus. And it goes into the stomach that's split into 4 chambers. So a cow has like 4 stomachs. So first of all, it reaches the rumen, and this is where it mixes with the digestive bacteria. Then it moves through to the reticulum, which large and digested particles of food are regurgitated and chewed again. So if it hasn't made it smaller, it brings it back up into its throat and chews it again and pushes it back down. From there, it moves into the amasum, which is like a filter. That's the third part of the stomach. And small particles of the food travel on to the abumasum, I think it is. It's tricky to see that one. And the larger parts go back to the reticulum to be broken down a bit more. From there, it goes into the main part of the stomach, the true stomach, where the digestive enzymes are added to the food. And this prepares the food to go into the small intestine. So like us, the cow has a small intestine. And bile from the liver and enzymes from the pancreas are added to the food in the small intestine and helps the cow absorb nutrients and water. So that's the same as the chicken and humans. And the large intestine absorbs any remaining nutrients. Any leftover water and waste products leave the large intestine, passing out of the anus as feces or poo. So it poops just the same as us, but it looks a little bit different because the cow doesn't eat the same food as us. Now let's have a look at a snake. Because a snake doesn't chew its food. Instead, it swallows its prey whole. And a snake can unhinge its jaws to stretch around animals much bigger than its own head. That's incredible. But just like all the other animals, snake's food travels down the esophagus, and it's strong and stretchy to help the snake move its large meal to its stomach. So it works really hard. The muscles in the esophagus push the food along. From there, the food travels into the stomach, and that's also strong and stretchy inside. And it has very powerful acids to dissolve the food, including the animal's bones. But despite that, the hair and the claws of animals can't be digested. From there, the food travels into the small intestine, and here bile from the liver and digestive enzymes from the pancreas are added to the food, and this helps the snake to absorb nutrients. So that is very much the same as all the other animals. And then what's left goes into the large intestine, where it absorbs any remaining nutrients and water, and it just leaves the waste products that can't be used by the snake. Now the snake, like the chicken, so similar to the chicken, has a cloaca, and the waste products move there and mix with the urinary system liquid, the wee. So the wee and the poo mix together and leave the snake's body through the cloaca. It pushes it out through the cloaca. So we've seen in all of these animals things that are the same as humans: the esophagus, the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach. The stomachs vary slightly, but there's all the same elements. They just work in a very slightly different way. So let's remind ourselves of the human digestive system. The human digestive system starts in the mouth, where we chew our food into small pieces, which mix with saliva that contain enzymes, and that starts the digestive process. Then the food goes down the esophagus into the stomach, and the stomach works like a food blender. It's a hollow, muscular bag that contains acid and enzymes that break the food down. From there, the food goes into the small intestine, where the nutrients from the food are absorbed into the blood, just the same as the other animals. Then it goes into the large intestine, where it removes the excess water from the indigestible waste to make solid feces, poo. Feces is the scientific word for poo. And from there, what's left goes into the rectum, which is the last part of the large intestine where the poo is stored, the feces is stored, ready to leave the body when we go to the toilet. So there's lots of sections there that are very similar to the other animals. I can't believe how different our digestive systems are, but how many similarities there are. So your challenge today is to use that information that's on those slides to compare a human digestive system with one of the other animals here. I want you to make a table to show what is similar and what is different. You can do this on paper and send a photo to me on Class Dojo or upload it onto your Google Classroom, or you can complete the information on the Google Doc which I've attached to your assignment. Don't forget to tell me which animals you're comparing. And you could add pictures of the two animals that you're going to compare to make it more exciting and to present your work beautifully. I would love to be able to share the work that you produce and put it onto Twitter and Facebook. I'm so proud of all the work you're producing at the moment. Let's do some more today that is really fantastic, and we can share it with everyone else and show what wonderful work you are capable of. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing your work. Shall I just show you the sheet, the document sheet? This is the document sheet if you're going to put it on there. As you can see, it's very simple at the moment, very plain. So you just need to fill in this section here. Okay, fill in the section here. I'll show you that. And then underneath here, you just need to fill in what the similarities are and what the differences are. If you like, you can put pictures on the bottom. You can find pictures and upload those as well to make it look really exciting. Okay, so that's it for today. I look forward to seeing your work. Do a fantastic job, and I'll see you for the next lesson.